But as you sketch out your oval, make sure you use that whole entire arm when you draw and not just your wrist. Because if you just use your wrist, that's more like writing than it is drawing. So I'm just going to really lightly sketch out my oval here. And what we look for in these drawings is what we call a rough sketch. So it's okay that you've got all those extra lines in there, because it's really what a rough sketch is all about. You can also think of it as a rainbow shape up here at the top and a U shape down here to connect the two together. So just keep all of these lines really light and loose, and I'll let you know when getting into that darkening in part, stuff we really want to keep flying. And within our oval, we'll also add in some construction lines, and these construction lines are going to help us anchor down the features of the space. So I'm just going to add in one line that just goes right down the middle of the oval, so it divides it in half. I'm even extending it out past that original oval as well. It's going to help us a little later to create a new jawline. I'll also add in another construction line that comes right across the middle. So you've got a big plus sign going right there in the middle of the oval. And on either side of the oval, we're going to add in some triangle wedge pieces. You can also think of them as guitar picks as well. So just sitting right up above the construction line and the side of the oval, I'll add in one rounded off guitar pick, so it's a line that curves out, and I'll curve it right back inside the oval. Now this is also something we want to keep, so I'm just going back just to darken the shape in. We'll do the same thing over here on the right side. So again, just sitting right up above the construction line, we'll add another curve line that curves out, and just curving it right back inside the oval. Does anybody know what these are that we created in form?
Ears.
Yeah, his ears. Well, right now it kind of looks like a blowfish sitting on our page, but we'll add in some curves or fold lines to the ears as well. And that's just by coming right inside of his ear, maybe about halfway down. I'm just going to add in a half rainbow that curves up on his ear. And we'll also add in a smaller fold line to his ear as well. That's just a smaller curved line inside there to get like a little backwards Y. We do the same thing over here on that side. So you can just come halfway down, add in a half rainbow shape that curves up, and add in a smaller curved line down on his ear. Well, with those ears in place, we can start to add in his jawline. Now, Tigger has a pretty long jaw because he's a confident character. Some other confident characters would be Gaston, Captain Hook, Mr. Incredible, and Buzz Lightyear. And from where his jaw is going to sit, it's going to sit about halfway down on the oval. So it's sitting right about here and right about here. Now, the length of his jaw is about as long as that original oval. So if you want, you can measure your oval so you know how long you want to make his jawline. But I'm just going to stretch out lines just here on either side of the oval. And I'll just cap it off down here at the bottom with the letter U shape. And I'll just go back here and just darken that in. Just from one side of the oval all the way over towards the other side. Just picking out your favorite line here along the way. So this way we're already starting to get the silhouette for our drawing of Tigger. Well, now that we've got his silhouette, we can start to add in some more details for him. A great anchoring spot for a character is their nose. His nose happens to be rather large, and it's going to sit right where our two construction lines meet, and also come down to the bottom of our oval shape. So I'm just going to fit in a light circle that will touch both of those points. Now he's the cat, so we need to make this circle look more like a cat nose. And to make this circle look more like a cat nose, up here at the top of the circle, I'm just going to stretch out a hill. So I'm just shaving off a piece of the circle here at the top. And then you can keep the roundness of the circle over here on the sides. So this is more of a friendly cat nose than a sharp, menacing one. Like Shere Khan from the Jungle Book, his nose would be sharp and menacing since he's a villainous tiger. Or Tigger's not, no matter what rabbit says. So just rounded that on the sides for him. And we'll add in his smile too, and his smile is just a letter U shape that sits underneath his nose. And where his smile sits is halfway between his nose and his jawline on either side. So just halfway in between there, just start to sketch out his smile. And just curving it right underneath his nose, all the way over towards the other side, halfway in between that nose and that jawline again. Let's go back here to darken that smile up for him. When we smile, we get what we call smile lines on the ends. he's going to get these two, so we're going to cap his smile off on either side by adding a couple of T-shapes. I'm also going to curve it right over towards that jawline for him as well. We'll do the same thing over here on the left side. Tigger's nose sits on the end of the snout. Well, since we're looking at him straight on, you want to be able to see that the nose looks like it comes out towards us just a little further on our page. So I'm just going to come here to the end of his smile line, and we'll just curve it right back up towards the top of his nose. We'll do the same thing over here on the left side. So you even go from the nose down the smile line if you like. We'll use the cat. Cats have that little space of that gap between their nose and their smile. So we're just going to darken up our construction line just between those 2 points. Now if you want, you can even open up his mouth, and that's just by adding in a smaller U down here at the bottom of his smile. And with all this in place, you've already created the bottom half of Tigger. So how are drawings turning out so far? Wow, okay. A little mixture of view out there, that's alright. Well, we'll start to move up to the most expressive part of any character, and that's going to be his eyes. Now his eyes are really small. Think of them as like little tiny watermelon seeds or little apple seeds or even little buttons. For where they're going to sit is they're just going to sit right up here on our construction line on either side. So just right up above his nose, I'm going to add in one little button here. And I'll do the same thing over here on the left side. I want you to get these eyes in place just the way you like them. Go back and darken them in as dark as you can. This is where all the focus goes to, is right inside those eyes. So I'm just making sure that they're extra dark. Well, he's got eyelids right up above each eye. And for these eyelids, they're just little upside down little U's above each eye here. We'll do the same thing over here on the right side. And we also have some little U shapes underneath each eye as well. And you want to keep these short, because to make them a little longer, he's going to start to feel sleepy or tired, and that's really not his personality. Well, he also has what we like to call a mask. This is what's going to frame his eyes and bring more attention and focus up there. If we don't add in a mask, his eyes would start to get lost with those stripes of his. Mickey has a mask too, but his is more of an M shape to fit his face, whereas Tigger's mask is more of a football shape to fit his. So I'm going to come right inside of our original oval, so I'd say right about here. And I'm going to add in a rainbow shape that's going to stretch out over here on the left side over by his eyes and darken that in. And we'll do the same thing over here on the right side. So just stretching out the rainbow shape over here on the right side and darken that in. So this is the top part of his mask. Well, for the bottom part, I'm going to lightly sketch out right through the nose, just from one corner all the way over to the other corner. But the only part that you want to darken in is just from the nose over to the corner of the mask, making sure that these corners are also rounded for him as well. This way you get that football shape or even a windshield shape too. With this mask in place, we can start to add in his eyebrows. So for his eyebrows, right up here at the top of his mask in the middle, I'm going to add in a number 1. And you can even push this outside of that original oval as well. Alright, from the number 1, we'll just connect it down to the corner of his mask. So from the point to the, I'm just going to curve it right down to the corner of his mask here, one eyebrow. I'll do the same thing over here on the right side. Just get from one point all the way down to the corner of his mask. And with his eyebrows in place, you can also start to close off the rest of his head at the top and on the sides. So you can pick out your favorite lines here along the way. So I'm just picking out my favorite line, just from ear over towards his eyebrow. Also, you want to close off the little gap right in between those 2 eyebrows here as well. And also close it off from eyebrow over towards the ear here on the left side. I'm picking out your favorite lines over here on the sides from ear over towards his jawline. Well, he's a tiger, and all tigers need their stripes. Well, he's got a stripe that wraps around on the back part of his head, but for the stripe, we'll only see a small portion of it on either side. So this is just going to be an upside down shark fin or backwards check mark over here on the right, and a regular check mark or another upside down shark fin over here on the left. And that's one long stripe on the back that we see for him. Well, he also has one that sits up here on his smile line that points up towards his eyes to bring more focus up there. So this will be a longer shark fin, or an upside down letter V shape. We also add in a smaller one over by his ear. And add in two more over here on the left side to match that for him. There's just another longer stripe here for him, and a shorter stripe. And since they are black, you can go back and shade the stripes in. And if you use the side of the pencil, you can get this nice little even tone, and you won't get those little scritchy, scratchy marks. Though you could go with the more scritchy, scratchy feel if you like, and then you'd be like he popped out of the books that E.H. Shepard illustrated. The Tigger wasn't based on a cat at all, though. He was based on the unknown family dog named Chum, who would bounce on people. So you never know where inspiration for your favorite character might come from. And I'll even give a little light turn to the inside of his mouth, just to give a little contrast in there, also to show that he's not sticking out a tongue at us. Well, he's also a cat, and all cats need whiskers, yeah. Well, his whiskers are short and springy, and they're just going to sit right here on his muzzle. And these are just 3 flicks of your pencil on either side. So it's going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Well, you can go back and darken up any of those lines that might have faded away through a little drawing process. But the last step an artist needs to make is a signature. And you can sign your name wherever you feel it is best. But after you're all done, you have just created your very own Tigger. So how did we do in the end? Good, not too bad. Did you have fun? That's the most important part about drawing, is having fun. Well, I would love to see each and every one of your drawings. So on the count of 3, you can go and show me how you all did. And don't forget though, take a look around, because everybody's doing different. You're all different artists, you also have your own unique style as well. And I'll take into consideration if you're not done shading in or whatnot. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Tigger, let's take a look out here. How did we do? Looking good. Very nice job down here. Very nice. Nice big confident jaws for him. Looking good too in the back. Nice and dark back there. Tigger bouncing all over your page. And very nice job in here. Even going long ways. Looking good down here too. Very nice job. Excellent work over here. Wow, I'm impressed. I like them. Maher, what do you think?
I think it was fast.
I agree. So you all graduate from the Animation Academy. So give yourselves all a big round of applause for this graduating. Congratulations. Very nice. And now that you graduated, you're more than welcome to come back for another class in which you'll be teaching